the mend! On the mend!
This is it, Hunter. I can smell it. I can feel it. The disease that is the demon. Balberith awaits us down below. So ready yourself. Encase your soul in armor thicker than tenebrium. You'll need all your wits about you if you're to face this horror from the hells.
What is it then? Death is so obvious. Pain even more so. Come.
Can it be? The Guardians? My word, how changed you are. And yet, still how gloriously the divine light shines upon you. I am one of the ancients of our realm, a spirit of the forest and keeper of arcane knowledge. Since the great change of source, it has been my mission to care for the creatures tainted by the darkness of source, to heal them as best I could, and to ease their suffering when healing was impossible. When the Lich Queen Cassandra overtook these woods, I regarded her with pity. Long have I searched for a way to reverse her terrible condition, hoping not only to heal her, but to release her grip upon this forest. But now that Balberith has made his home among my charges, savagely feeding upon their fears, my only goal is to survive. When I am gone, the creatures of this forest will have no protections against the evils that threaten them. The fiend seeks to defile all that is good, all that is joyful and natural. I was an obvious target, but worse than this, imprisonment is what the beast has taken from me. An ancient rune more valuable than any relic in all of Rivellon. Only myself and the Keeper of the Source were possessed of these ancient runes, and we swore to protect them. The rune grants access to the Source Temple at the heart of this forest, and within that temple lie the most ancient secrets of the Divine. Balberith used the rune to grant an intruder access to the temple, and now I fear all is lost. Getting through the temple is nigh impossible. The trial of ascension allows only the most devout sorcerers into its deepest chamber, where the portal to the first garden lies. But I can share with you a secret, a way to circumvent the trial. When you enter the temple, stay close to your right. Eventually you'll run into a weak wall. A well-placed strike will cause it to crumble, and you'll find yourself within the High Templar's office. There, you'll find a teleportation mirror, which will deliver you to the portal to the first garden. I'm certain the intruders at the Source Temple intend to find that portal. You must stop them before they do. The first garden is the realm of the divines, and who knows what terrible havoc they intend to wreak within that holy realm. Why, Guardians, that garden is yours. It is where you kept your vigil over the God Box until the void escaped, and you disappeared from time. Astarte dwells there still, along with the dreaded Void Dragon. They will battle into eternity, unless someone tips the scale. Getting through the temple, but when you end, I'm certain why, God, Astarte.
Oh! It cannot possibly be Jehan? And so close to your expiration date. Ah! I thought for certain I'd have to chase you down in that great palace of yours and pull you out by your ponytail. How very precious of you to save me the trouble.
I have wandered worlds for nearly 1,000 years in search of you, demon. And finally I have found you. 10 centuries have I spent honoring and hating the remembrance of Hiraka. Have I turned my hatred into the fuel that lit the fires of purpose. To track you down, undo my bond by wrenching the life from your mangled frame, and thereby freeing my hell-promised soul.
You're gonna have to dumb it down for me, Your Highness. I deal in souls, not poetry.
Silence. I have made you the object of an age-long obsession, villain. I know more about your kind than all the scholars of the universe combined. I know why you remain so elusive once a deal has been made. For to kill you is to break the pact and leave me with your gift of life forever.
Yes, demon. True immortality shall be mine. Forget the cheap ploys of necromancy. Forget the dogmas of demonology. I have discovered how to best you at your own game. I need but do the impossible to kill my ensnarer, and your spell will remain upon me forever like a spook that haunts my soul with welcome abandon. So yes, I know your tricks. I am immortal, beyond the decay of time. This 1,000-year limit is but artifice and of your making. Now I shall end you. End you before you can erase your machinations. One immortal shall taste of death, and another shall never know its torpid flavor.
You're even smarter than I gave you credit for, O Fallen King. But before we do battle, let me have a word with your allies first. Isn't she exquisite? I've spent some time groping around in that great rocky head of hers, but her deepest fear still eludes me. No matter for now. These darling forest creatures are dear as fawns with their sweet little worries. Once I've sucked each one of them dry, I'll put all 10 fingers into Mrs. Spirit of the Forest here. Come on, sugar, just a little hint. Mayhem? Shame? Clowns? Maybe she's just fussing since I got my hands on that little old runestone of hers. Is that it? Oh, that? Quite the hot object these days, isn't it? The woman in red just offered me quite the reward if I'd use it to open the Source Temple for her. You wouldn't happen to be after a similar sort of deal, would you? By the looks of you, I'm quite certain an arrangement could be reached. I've always been one for a deal, after all, and it just so happens there's something I'm quite sure you could do for me. Jehan, you seem to have grown quite chummy with the, what is it again? Source Hunter? How very fascinating. But what's that? Unless my senses deceive me, there's the faintest fear in you, Jehan. Fear that some harm should come to your little friends. Perhaps you can help keep us all quite safe by facilitating a little deal.
Careful, hunters. This worm has never offered a straight deal in all his 1,000 putrid lives. you'd do well to close your ears to whatever filth will soon pour from his mouth.
It seems, Jehan, that your friends have the strength of mind to stand against you regularly. No easy feat for most faced with an intellect like yours, old friend. I do believe beings of such fortitude might be able to help me indeed. Just the sort of party whose help I'd be so happy to have. For you see, I've a certain pebble in my shoe that I simply can't shake out all by my lonesome. Ralzan Axaroth, one of my most ancient enemies, has been summoned alongside the very forest I've claimed. The woman in red intends him to guard the entrance to the Source Temple. But if I know the bloodthirsty beast, he's already set his eyes upon the creatures of this forest.
Hunters, you must listen to me carefully. For now more than ever before, my words may determine the course of all our fates. This demon's deal may seem simple, but beneath the lure bobs a deadly hook, no doubt eager to catch you by the mouth. Deal not with Balberith, Hunter. Do not repeat my mistake.
I'll not risk our lives by dealing in demonry.
We'll find our way into the Source Temple without affiliating with his kind. No deal.
More's the pity, but I'd hardly compel a soul to enter a deal unwillingly. As for those who've already signed a pact, though, well, a deal's a deal, isn't it? Perhaps I ought to ask you, Jehan. A deal's a deal, isn't it? And your 1,000 years are quite over, my friend. Your soul is mine.
We'd never hand over our trusted companion to the likes of him.
We wouldn't. Jehan made the deal, and Jehan's lived nearly 1,000 years. He ought to hold up his end of the bargain.
We needn't betray Jehan to get that rune. We can certainly best this demon some other way.
We've got to stick together, you and I, and move forward together by any means necessary.
No, we'll do as I say.
Hunter, I see I chose well when I recognized the potential within you. Great have you become, more powerful and more noble than even I could have guessed. Now we throw our might towards a single cause. And together we shall destroy one more hand of evil within our world. The moment has come. Come, demon, let us begin. And you too, Hunter. Stand by me as I face my ultimate ordeal.
deliverance from the heavens.
A blizzard of blows! Aha! You are well within my range now. Get out of my way!
Focused volley!
It is done. The manacles of a tormented millennium have fallen from my soul, and finally it is mine again. My life, my liberty, and not for a handful of years borrowed from fickle gods. No,
It is mine perpetually.
I know I might well have failed if it hadn't been for you. I thank you. And with what powers I have, I bless you. Together we will venture forth to undo the void, so that my life's newfound longevity will not be meaningless. So that one day, in perhaps another 1,000 years, I will look upon the face of Hiraka once more and make my heart a stone. The tombstone neath which the witch will be buried. After that I shall finally know peace. After that I may sit and rest and settle. Perhaps even love anew. Ha! What fancies, what dreams, what castles in skies too stormy as yet to seat them. With a wave of the hand, let me discard them. We have so much to do and many to fight. And so, my friend, let us not tarry. Onward, for victory begs us to seize her.
Lucky find! Now this is valuable. Fortune!
You've slain the demon. Balbareth's reign of anguish is over. The Guardians have returned, and I am one of... When the Licht with Balbareth dead, I can return to my work of healing. It pains me terribly to think upon the damage the fiends. But worse than this, the rune grants access to getting through the... But I can... When you end... I'm certain the... Why, God, Astarte dwells there still, along with the dreaded voice. As Balbareth's presence tainted my mind, I began to lose hope. But now, it's clear. The Guardians have returned, and you will deliver us. This forest owes its life to you, dear Guardian. Every creature you meet has you to thank. I'll remain here for now. It will take some time to regain my former strength, but already I feel the soul of the forest reviving me, and I pass this blessing on to the forest's creatures. Thank you, our Guardian. Your triumphs are
As good as a new penny.
I needed that. Back on my feet again. Deliverance from the heavens. Wanted force! place to welcome you!
Die, vermin! Sweet relief!
Into the fray once more.
back. I feed the Lick Queen. You cannot touch her. You cannot pierce her. You cannot kill her. Forever will she reign. Forever we are her subjects. Turn back. Turn back while you can.
Intruder spy.
The Phantom will take you. The forest go no further. Her realm is death. Cassandra, our queen, our rotting mother, ruler of our souls. The dead pay tribute. Will turn. I am her fruit. I am her nectar. I am her ambrosia. The dead will take you. The forest will hold you. Do you come from where the sun shines? Do you bring Cassandra, our I feed the temple, rejects life. The temple takes only the dead. She rejects life. She rules death. Come from where the sun shines. Do you bring?
Sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. I strike with the full force of my convictions!
I needed that. Meet your demise! Fickle arrow. Sweet relief.
Does anybody else smell smoke?
Face the unending darkness.
Into the fray once more.
I needed that.
Back on my feet again. I feel better already.
I feel better already.
You will submit to me. You will take the guise I have given you.
Never. Curse the human corpus, and curse the human consciousness you've given me. Far happier was I as naught but a carefree cat.
Ours was happiness once, and can be again. Why would you resist such promise?
Because you are no longer a woman worthy of love. It may be your brother's doing, but you are a ghoul beyond redemption. This entire forest is nothing but your abattoir, and it sickens me.
Perhaps you are meant to be my redemption. Submit to me, and all this horror will vanish.
Save your breath, Cassandra. I'll not be swayed by your lies.
What do I spy? Remarkable. A living, breathing something, it seems. You dare to approach me here, mortal? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know what I do? The sister of the king, of course. The phantom of the woods, of course. The mother of all corpses, of course. The ruler of the dead. It is self-evident. I am Cassandra, queen of the Phantom Forest. And you have come where you are not welcome. The only king, Brachus Rex. He rules all of Rivellon, and I, his double, rule too. For a time, at least. We were forged together by our very souls, and all that was his was mine, and all that was mine his. But it's no wonder you haven't heard of me. He's gouged me from history, one statue, one tablet, one scroll at a time. But make no mistake, I live. Strange, isn't it? How a love greater than the gods themselves can tear you from time. But time matters little to me anymore. No, it floats past me unfelt as light upon a blind eye. To hide his weakness, to conceal his greatest misdeed. My brother was a kind ruler before he became a rabid tyrant, but his descent into madness was swift. Power he gained, and with it a terrible fear of death that hounded him ceaselessly night and day. He stationed 100 guards outside his bedchamber and mine, but still he kept awake all night, expecting assassins. He soon determined that he must diminish his risk. I, his sister, forged to his soul, was his greatest liability. My death would spell his, and so he sought to break the bond between us. My brother is a clever sort. Once he sets his mind to a task, it's good as done. Brachus discovered that while we lived, the forge could not be broken. But this did not deter him. No, for Brachus there are only temporary difficulties. And so he turned me into an immortal creature. Living, yes, but wedded to death. A lich, destined to roam, ever half alive among the world of the living. We were lost to one another. We who had walked hand in hand through all of life. We who shared each thought, each trial with perfect understanding between us. I was cast out and aside. And Brachus, empowered by his new freedom, went on to rule. But I've never forgotten his betrayal. No, I've spent centuries searching, seeking, until the perfect solution appeared before me. How better to have guaranteed my brother hated his own cold, cruel heart than to make him feel my torment. I discovered how to restore our soul forge, and I determined to bind our souls once more. The torment of the never-arriving grave would have haunted him as it haunts me. The pain his betrayal caused me would have been his to savor. But in the end, my brother found a worse fate than any I could have devised. Source King that he was, Brachus was stricken down not once, but twice. First opposed, then resurrected, then defeated once more. I can think of no finer torture for that proud madman than to come to the cusp of glory, only to be cast back down for all time. Is that so? You, a frail mortal, laid low the eternal crown of Brachus Rex? How sinfully inglorious. Yes, how humiliating for the so-called Lord of Chaos to find himself run through by a slave to age and order. I do believe thanks are in order. To show my gratitude, I will allow you to roam my woods at your own discretion. This is no mean feat that I swear to tolerate the stench of your living flesh, mortal. Take it as a tremendous honor. Is that so? And how might I weigh the debt of a mortal? Could you do more for me than, say, a boar, a wolf? Does your kind not serve me best when the lovely blush of rot swells along your delicate hide? Still, I do suppose we could come to an agreement. Ahu, the one I love, is reluctant to admit that he loves me too. He clings to the past like a fading old man. So I desire to drive him from denial into acceptance. He is a stubborn one, though, that pussycat. And he has mastered the magic I once filled him with better than I had foreseen. That is why I need an ingredient even he cannot resist. An ingredient called stasis fern. There is a spirit in this forest called Shiera, who is known to possess like rarities. Alas, she seems to have quite vanished. It's simple, really. Find her, obtain the stasis fern, and the spell you desire shall be yours. It is an anomaly. A plant that is said to have grown in another realm altogether than Rivellon. The first garden, a place of myth and miracle. There, so the spirits of this forest told me, it bloomed and delighted with its fragrance no more. Yet taken from the first garden and brought here, it took on source-like particularities. Its magic is one of permanence. A magic as eternal as the world from whence it came, and with it, what I want will be mine. Ahu, my lover forever. Obviously, but that would be a disaster now, wouldn't it? A disaster of such proportions that I'd have to vent my rage on your innards. There is nothing left to discuss, oh frail little thing. Bring me the stasis fern so that I... I've yet to peel the flesh from your face, mortal. But there is nothing...
Source Hunter, how glad I am to see you. Tread carefully. Weigh your every word. Cassandra has become more devious than I ever dared dream. You hit the nail on the head, Hunter. That is exactly what Cassandra wants to do. Kill the part of me that is cat, and claim for herself that which is human. No! I cannot bear it. I cannot. I am a cat, and always was. I remember my many siblings. My mother giving us suckle, licking me clean with a gentle purr. Yes, I remember the freedom of a pre-conscious existence. That is who I am, not a man. For what is it that humanity has given me? Nothing but suffering. Nothing but hurt and heartbreak. So stop her, Hunter. For the love of the Seven, stop Cassandra. To be human for all time is a fate worse to me than death. Careful, friend, for it'll be your death, not hers. She boasts that the magic she weaves makes her immortal, and I don't doubt the might of her sorcery. Nevertheless, where there is source, source hunters follow. Perhaps there may be a weakness in her fortifications still. This forest teems with wretched souls. They may know things we know not. All too well. Even in my human guise, I'd have gone quite as white as I am now at the mere mention of that otherworldly wonder, Stasis Fern. In Cassandra's hands, an instrument of ultimate torture. Ambrosia in my own. She'd use it to consolidate my human form everlastingly. You cannot let her have it at any cost. But should you find it, Hunter, please bring it to me instead. With Stasis Fern, that ultimate catnip, I can become the being I most desire to be. A cat once more and forever.
You were always the only one, Ahu. I need you back, and I shall.
The boar tries to grunt and squeal, but not a note high or low does it produce. Its entire body bespeaks an exasperated frustration at being unable to do so. The boar energetically points towards the downward sloping path. Whoever robbed him of his voice might be close by.
Walgraf almost pushes you in the direction the boar motioned towards. He knows he's close to a voice snatcher, and he intends to confront him as soon as possible. Walgraf's lips bend into a cruel smile.
I'll rip your yelps right out of your damn throat.
You approach a man dressed in all too familiar, immaculate robes, with a strange voice marked by occasional growls that a boar might make. He is about to cast a spell on a terrified bunny, which he is gripping tightly in his worn and claw-like hand. Your approach startles him, however, causing him to relax his hold. Feeling the pressing fingers slipping from its little body, the bunny manages to break free and quickly disappears into the nearby rabbit hole. The Immaculate eyes you hatefully and yells,
"Curse you! I've got a few words left in this barren throat of mine, and it took me the damnedest time to get my paws on that long-eared good-for-naught. Elaborate on what? That I have no voice unless I take one, eh? That I am mute unless I make other voices mine? Mine for an infuriatingly short time? Touched a nerve there, have I? So what's the matter with Dagger Dasher over there? Can't he speak for himself? Snatcher, am I? I need to speak, you cretin! Need the spell to speak. Your lackey could talk too if he weren't so squeamish about it. You think I'd tell you? I'd sooner slice my own
The Immaculate seems to be rapidly losing his ability to speak, managing only to growl like a boar in heat. Then he coughs violently and falls completely silent as he mouths torrents of unspoken expletives. His intention is rather hard to misread, though. He'll tear you limb from limb unless you, and especially Woolgraf, do him that courtesy first.
Demon's breath! I've been paralyzed!
Not so fast!
This is the end! For you!
Wulgraf urges you to search the dead
Stitch in
Immaculate
time,
body.
eh, my friends?
The foul creature wouldn't talk, but perhaps his corpse may reveal information still.
Electrifying grasp.
I must focus. As good as a new penny. I feel better already. I needed that. On the mend! Bless the Seven! I am restored! A stitch in time, eh, my friends? Sweet relief! Fortune!
Sweet relief.
Sweet relief!
I needed that. I needed that. I needed that.
I needed that.
Bless the Seven, I am restored.
The sheep's red eyes pierce you, and ropes of saliva drip from its moldy lips as it inspects your warm, living flesh. The sheep inches slightly closer and seems to sniff the air. A low groan bleats from its throat. It's growing hungrier. The sheep's red eyes continue to stare into yours, but it offers you a bit of wool, too. Who knew you'd be so good at this?
as fresh apple pie.
All is well then, Source Hunter. How pleased I am.
Careful, I've spotted a trap. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
For
so, ektel dirigos. Tukskog, taitain bad, hugu. Tugaksort, titain, tukyu, tuksofokor. Real fast, or... Is that not who you are? We Titans are an ancient race, Guardian. There are certain things we are beginning to remember. Cassandra, hers is a tragic tale. She was once the Lady of the Realm, the much beloved sister of Brackus Rex. Soul forged were they, and they shared a bond unmatched among mortals. But as Brackus's power grew, so did the distance between him and his sister. He began to see her no longer as an extension of himself, but as a liability. If she were to die, Brackus would be dragged into the afterlife alongside her. The powerful king couldn't stand the thought. There is no breaking a forge of souls, but there are ways, terrible ways, to dance around them. Brackus, an accomplished sorcerer in his own right, decided that he would sever himself from Cassandra at any cost. And so he transformed her into a lich, half living and half dead. Unable to die, she no longer threatened him. But hers was a cursed life. She sought death like a moth seeks the flame, worshipped it as her one and only idol. She fled to these forests, where she could find a kind of solitude in which to mourn her fate. Here she clutches death about her like a shroud, and any fool enough to approach her is invited to share her fate. A lick is a lick, Guardian. Burn its bones, and it becomes vulnerable. The difficulty rests in finding those bones, for their location is the Lich's best-kept secret. Her body rests in the Temple of the Dead, where only corpses can enter. Well hidden are her bones, but the careful seeker will surely find them.
Intruder spied. Intruder spied. Intruder spied. Intruder spied.
The Phantom will take you. The focus hidden switches will take you. The forest will hold you.
Intruder spied. Intruder spied. Intruder spied. Intruder spied.
spide. Intruder spide. Intruder spide. Intruder spide.
The Temple of Death welcomes only its likeness.
Intruder spide.
Where is our spirit? Where has she fled?
Intruder spide. Intruder spide.
As good as a new penny.
She cannot be defeated. She will not die.
Intruder spide.
penny. As good as a new penny. Back on my feet again.
As good as a new penny. On the mend!
Bless the seven I am restored.
On the mend!
I needed that.
On the mend! As good as a new penny. Sweet relief. Hold! Our enemies have laid a trap. Look out! I see a
Also,
trap
I've spotted
nearby.
a trap.
This place sets my teeth on edge.
Hold! Our enemies have lain a trap.
Halt! Our enemies have laid a trap.
Careful now, that's a trap.
spotted
Look
a trap.
out! I see a trap nearby. Careful now, that's a trap. Look out! I see a trap nearby. Careful, I've spotted a trap. Now, that's a trap. Hold! Our enemies have laid a trap. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Moving two fingers slowly over the palm of his other hand, Walgraf seems to signal you had better tread carefully.
Are my eyes fooling
There's treasure
me?
to be found, but traps as well.
What's this? I found something.
Striking it rich!
Cassandra's bones! Once they're ash, she'll be vulnerable once more.
Will you do the honors? Or shall I?
Flying fire!
Sometimes I just want to watch the world burn. The bones are burnt, and Cassandra is made vulnerable.
Time to cleanse this phantom forest of the lich that haunts it.
Tread lightly. Our enemies have been here before us. Careful now, that's a trap. place is fantastic. Imagine all the spectacular experiments one could get up to here.
Spectacular in the right hands, horrific in the wrong.
Ah, greetings, greetings! One of Cassandra's, I presume? Yet rather more warm than is her preference, aren't you? And not a hint of rot. Strange, very strange indeed. But who am I to judge? I've been dead at least 100 years, and fashions certainly do change. The alchemist, of course. I think I must have had a proper name once, but there hasn't been much occasion to use it for the past several decades. No, alchemist suits me just fine, don't you think? Why, isn't it obvious? Beautiful alchemy, that science of the gods themselves. Yes, before my change, I was a regular master of the alchemical arts. Tinctures for princes' wounded pride, powders to smooth skin ravaged by time. I could craft them all with ease. These days, of course, I serve only Lady Cassandra. How she discovered a method of extending life without the use of the stone of the philosopher, I cannot say. She never revealed much in the way of secrets to yours truly. But as you can see, I'm as alive, well, nearly so, as I was many years before nature's expiration date. Ah, a kind ruler is she. Leaves me to my experimentations and my devices here, so long as I honor her occasional requests for this and that. Nightmare potions, paralysis salves, essentials for one in her line of work. I haven't heard anything from her esteemed brother in quite some years, though. Tell me, have you word of our great overlord, Brachus Rex? Is that so? Well, my point about changing fashions rings true. Yet his sister seems to be living on quite fine. Very strange, considering their forge of soul. But oh my goodness. Could it be that he took his own sister? No. It's much too ghastly. Heavens, a thing like that? Well, you see, it's no secret that the great Brachus Rex and his sister, our own Cassandra, were soul forged from a very young age. This gave them special insights into one another's psyches, and they were inseparably close. It also meant, however, that killing one would kill the other. If, say, Brachus received an arrow through his heart in battle, Cassandra might drop dead over toast and tea halfway round the world. It is impossible to break a forge of souls completely, but it is rumored that certain steps could be taken. If one member of the forge were to be turned, for instance, into a half-living, half-dead creature, he or she would attain a form of immortality. Thus, the fully human member of the pair would be freed of the influence of his or her counter. It could be possible that it was Brachus himself who granted Cassandra this certain brand of immortality. Yes, the great king was gaining power quickly. I imagine his greatest vulnerability, Cassandra, had to be dealt with. But it is a terrible fate, you see. A lich, half woman and half corpse, unable to enjoy the pleasures of life, but only to pursue death. To think that one could exact such a fate upon one's own flesh and blood. Unfathomable. Perhaps you can. Of course you may, but if you're having trouble with the whole affair, I'd suggest that perhaps it's your perception you ought to work on first.
I've got my eyes on the prize.
You call to Ulgraf. He awaits your queries. With a simple nod, the rogue seems to say, "Shoot!" Ulgraf eagerly grabs the potion and quaffs it down like a cold beer on a hot day. Presently, he starts to cough, then inhales the air deeply and talks.
I can speak. I can bloody well speak. This is amazing. This is... I want to sing. I want to shout. The hell's bells on a cracker. How deep and gruff I sound. Well, then again, last time I heard my own voice, I was but a 10-year-old pipsqueak after all, not a weather-beaten, whip-licked, sorcerer-slaying ruffian. Oh, I can't thank you enough, Governor. Really, I can't. No gift as precious, no gift as titillating as the power of speech. Oh, those rolling R's, those teeth-flicking T's. Don't mind my crude way with words, my friend. In all those years of ever so dreary internal monologue, I haven't quite moved on from the street kid vernacular. A girl's a peach, a boy's a tosser, and a so-called great big authority figure, whether a John or a Jill, is a governor. But that's neither here nor there, is it? I've got me voice back. I've got me strength back. And I'm more ready than ever to kick sorry, saggy sorcerer behind. On we go. The job ain't finished yet, and my dagger's dying for some action. What's on your mind? Ha! It's bloody wonderful, isn't it? Everything is just so much easier. You want something, you just say so. Or you just take it, but that's the rogue in me talking. That was one of my famed ploys. I told one of the local little brats, and by telling I mean writing down, that all his wishes would be granted if he threw all the gold he had down that well. A real-life wishing well. Obviously, the jackanapes told everyone that would listen all about it, and he shouted it down the ears of those that wouldn't, to boot. Worked like a charm. Undead or no, they went out in droves to actually wish them walking corpses away. Easy bloody money, Governor. Why, good old-fashioned practice. You'd be surprised how easily people miss details that are right in front of their crooked noses. The art of observation, Governor. It's a skill no cat burglar can do without. Just as important as fleet-footedness and sleight of hand. I practised and practised until a fleck of disturbed dust became as obvious to me as a bullseye painted on a barn. People think they can hide things, keep secrets, but whatever they do, they can't hide them from our Woolgraf. Shoot!
enemies have laid a trap.
You've slain the demon, Balbareth. So I do, Guardian. And I'll happily make a trade with you.
And so we got our hands on Stasis Fern. Now to decide what to do with it.
When the time comes, we should give it to Ahu so he can become a cat forever, like he wishes. Cassandra is not to be trusted anyway.
Indeed. If Ahu wants to be a cat forever, so be it. He is our friend, and we shouldn't leave him in Cassandra's horrid care.
Submit to me. You will take the guise I have given you.
Treasure!
Never. Curse the human corpus.
I am not myself. Stay away from me! Submit to me. You will take the guise I have.
Mind if we take a bit of a breather, Governor? Even a bloodhound ties a blood once in a cool blue moon.
The consciousness you've given me.
Right, gotcha. I'll make this quick, promise. See, I've been doing a lot of thinking, you know. Now, don't laugh. I have. Thinking, that is, about those boyhood fancies of mine. I'm becoming a source hunter. A great big hero in a big bad world.
Worthy of love. It may be your brother's doing, but you are a ghoul beyond redemption. This entire forest is nothing but your abattoir, and it sickens me.
Perhaps you are meant to be my redemption. Submit to me and all this horror will vanish.
Save your breath, Cassandra. I'll not be swayed by your lies.
Back in the day, your order refused me. Dismissed me like a flea-ridden street hound because I couldn't talk. Fair enough, you know. No hard feelings. But now, I can talk. I can talk, and I can fight, and I can hunt. You've shown me what it's like to be a source hunter. The nobility of it. The worthiness of living a life in service of justice and chivalry. It's not too late for me. I can still become the hero of my youth. But that is not my decision to make. No, it's yours. So, I'm asking you, a source hunter, tried and true, whether you'll knight me here and now, whether you'll make me one of the Order. Will you?
Nature. And you too are.
I most certainly will. You've proven to be a worthy companion, and worthy of the title of Source Hunter.
I heartily concur. Woolgraf, we dub thee a knight in the Order of Source Hunters.
A knight? A source hunter? That such an honour would befall me still... I could jump for joy, scream and dance, but so solemn is this moment that I come back calmly bask in its glory. I won't let you down, Governor. I won't. I'll do the order proud. I swear it.
Once, and can be again.
Treasure!
Why would you resist?
Good time for sauce hunting, this.
You are no longer a woman worthy of love.
Oh, that and more, Governor. Can't quite describe the feeling, really. I may have my words back, but that don't make me a scholar. Still, it's pride, mostly. And knowing you're doing good by folks. The mission we're on, it's all just so grand. There's so much at stake. Now that's pretty scary. But somehow, it feels good to be part of it. Part of the bad guy's demise.
Swayed by your lies.
I'm not myself. Stay away from me! Don't you come closer! What have you done? What have you done to me, you wretched insect? I am queen of this forest. You cannot come into my home and find the abyss. What have you done to me? Stay away now. Don't you come closer to me now. The king will have your head for this. Brachus Rex will not tolerate such treatment of his sister, his twin! Stay away, do you hear?
little time!
Please, Hunter, free me. She is no more. The woman who gave me a new soul. The woman I loved. The sweet girl once ruined by her demonic brother. I know. Though it pains me still. All I can do is remind myself that the true Cassandra died the day Brachus took her down into his dungeons. Still, to remind oneself is easy. To accept is not. But let not my torn heart belittle your triumph, Hunter. The Lich is no more, and these woods will wake from a nightmare spun over centuries. I thank you for freeing me and freeing Phantom Forest. Now please, let me return to the shelter plane and gather my thoughts. It has been a long, tough day.
This has been for Ahu.
Finally, it has come to an end, if a bittersweet one.
Bloodstone, as powerful as it is sinister. Sweet relief!
We come to it at last. All of the missing threads have been rewoven, and the canvas is clear for the first time in eons. The final mystery may at least reveal itself. The final thread of your memory may be restored. Let us watch.
The Guardians had failed. Source was tainted, the Void was loosed, and all that stood between Rivellon and annihilation was Astarte herself. Overcome by guilt, they hoped to undo their failure by undoing reality itself. And so, they ripped their threads from the tapestry of time, so becoming unknown to history and unknowing of themselves for all eternity. As their threads fell to Rivellon like shooting stars, they hardened into crystals the people called Starstones.
So the souls within us intentionally tore themselves from the tapestry of time.
You know what, great jokes. Oh, I could tell a joke or two. We on a good day.
And look what happened. They killed themselves in the most thorough manner possible, only to bring more grief through Starstone.
Still, duty is honor and honor is duty. I can understand their not being able to live with having failed to protect the God Box.
Have already been reinstated, and now the last of the Elemental shall rejoin its illustrious masters. Glory be unto them.
Good gods, what an infernal heat!
Feels like we've landed inside the heart of the sun.
can come of your misguided actions. I have tried to warn you. I have tried to be your friend by pointing toward the one great truth that is the Void Dragon, and say, relent. For you have failed before, and you shall fail again. Why is it so difficult for you to accept that which is inevitable? All things must pass away, even time itself. Sit ye down, rest, be weary no longer. Acquiesce in the embrace of oblivion, in which there is nothing but the equality and the harmony of non-existence. A blessing awaits beyond the end of time. Accept it, for it is yours to receive.
Be our friend. That word has truly lost all meaning.
A blessing awaits beyond the end of time. Death's blessing, yes, but no more.
You! What radiance burns from your being? Enough to scorch even the likes of me, I find. And that is no small feat. Most impressive, yes, most impressive indeed. Why, I am a soldier of fire. And does this landscape not befit me? I have lived here for eons, since the first great peace, when the world as your kind know it was first secured. We were invited here by a great leader, I believe. Yes, a leader, I'm sure it was. The details, they crumble like ash when I try to grasp them in truth. But the radiance of that time has never left me. Victory, blazing victory, adorned our heads like a crown of glorious flames. I'm sure one as radiant as yourself must understand exactly what I mean. What do I know? Ha! Fire magic is me, and I am it. A far better question is, what would you like to know? Take care, my friend. Those who bless...
You and Zandalore have always been close, How might I serve our mission? Ask, and I shall answer, if I can.
Let me in on it in advance, if he'd been planning an affair with your sister.
And I shall answer, if I can. Threads I weave, and tales I see. All will I tell.
Resurrected and pursued by the bringer of the apocalypse as a result.
I know
now.
of him. The tapestry tells me all it can, and I know he knows you. This aspect of fire served you. In fact, he stood by your side on battlefields large as cities. Together, you overcame foes beyond comprehension. What's the word, Source Hunter? You found the spell. Source Hunter, you may well be Rivellon's greatest hero. Now we must find my sister and rejoin our souls. I'm certain this entire matter can be healed. Continue your search. You are so close to the end of your journey. You cannot falter now.
Good to see you on the shelf, most certainly. That must be the Hall of Flames, mustn't it? You control the elements, Source Hunter, and fire is the most inherently destructive of them all. You can learn much there that will make... Did you? The temp... But first, you should go to Hunter's Edge. It shall be my pleasure. From what I get, the I think he longs for a... You work tirelessly. Do you work again? I can but conclude the Guardians must have felt an overwhelming amount of guilt for their perceived failings. Why else would they scatter their very souls to the wind? We may not have a clear picture as yet of their true involvement in the fall of Astarte, but what we can finally put beyond doubt is how pieces of their very souls, your very souls, are being turned into bloodstone and used by the Immaculates to commit atrocity. They are your enemies, and therefore are they enemies of time. The worst kind of people, those.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know? By all means. And what might those be? Ah, yes, that Source Hunter. Words fail me, like they should a mere animal. Consciousness I will never be able to leave behind, but the taint of humanity all the more. Thank you. For every star in the sky, may the divines bless you. Nothing can deny my true self now. I am Cat.
You both puzzle and delight me, Sir Ahu. To be man and cat both. Such an interesting life you lead.
You flatter me, my lady, but yet... How can I help you, my friend?
Space, time, and a frigid prison wasteland.
Now that you mention it, what did you do to Leandra to earn her icy ire, Nicole?
Leandra and I have had our differences, but she herself would never have sent me to that frozen hell. Something or someone has taken hold of her. I'm sure of it.
If you know all that is past and present...
It is done. The manacles of a tormented millennium have fallen from my soul. And finally it is mine again. My life. I know I might well have. After that, I shall finally know peace. Do you now?
Reality. Good time for source hunting, miss. Your loss, Governor. Your loss. I'll be up in Zigzag's land, nursing a pint of ale if you need me.
I am on the trail, Source Hunter. Bear daughter.
Damon, only food.
Source Hunter, at your service. Most excellent. Right then, no time like the bloody present.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
That record all of history parallel to one another.
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a conclusive answer, though its resolution may lie in conception. Where you chronicle, I both chronicle and create. Where you arrive at conclusions, I spin origins besides.
By the hoary beard of Boreas, can it be? You've come home. It's about time, isn't it? Your quarters have been invaded by all manner of madness. By the hoary beard of Boreas, can it be? You've come home. It's about time, isn't it? Your quarters have been invaded by all manner of madness. Off to
You've returned, my brilliant friend. What is it that you wish to know?
Take care! Woolcraft, have you ever considered cutting out your tongue for professionalism's sake?
Welcome back. The rock spirit within me greets the rock spirit. May the earth...
You again, my friend. And so soon after tomorrow, how can I help you this time? Good day, good customer.